Four friends, united by their thirst for adventure, stood before the decaying gates of Cranbrook Mental Asylum. The night was eerily silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Their flashlights cast long, wavering shadows on the ground, adding to the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The mist curled around their feet as if trying to pull them back from the threshold of the unknown. A shiver ran down Mark's spine, the thrill of fear mingling with anticipation. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest, each beat echoing the silent question, "What lies within?" "Ready, guys?" he asked, his voice a hushed whisper in the stillness. The group exchanged nervous glances, their breaths visible in the cold night air. Sarah, ever the pragmatist, checked her flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing the path ahead. "Let's just be careful," she cautioned, her gaze fixed on the looming silhouette of the asylum. Her voice carried a note of concern, a reminder of the dangers that might lurk within. Cranbrook, with its grim history of mistreatment and tragedy, had long held a morbid fascination for them. Stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained noises had only fueled their curiosity. Tonight, under the pale glow of the moon, they would finally step into its haunted heart. The journey ahead was uncertain, but their resolve was unwavering. Together, they took a deep breath and moved forward, ready to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the walls of Cranbrook. The asylum's interior was a labyrinth of decaying corridors and crumbling rooms. Dust lay heavy on every surface, disturbed only by the occasional scuttling of rats. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the friends' hushed whispers and the sound of their own footsteps echoing through the emptiness. They reached a room at the end of a particularly long corridor. The air grew noticeably colder, raising goosebumps on their arms. "Did you hear that?" whispered Emily, her eyes wide with fear. A faint, mournful whisper seemed to emanate from the room, sending a chill down their spines. As they cautiously entered the room, their hearts pounded in their chests, each step echoing in the eerie silence. A cold gust of wind slammed the door shut behind them, sealing their fate within the haunted walls. Mark strained to make out their surroundings in the dim light of their flashlights, the beams flickering as if the darkness itself was alive. The air crackled with an unseen energy, raising the hairs on the back of his neck. Every breath felt heavy, laden with the weight of unseen eyes watching them. A spectral figure began to coalesce in the center of the room, its presence sending a chill down their spines. Its form shifting and swirling like smoke, the figure seemed to draw the darkness around it, becoming more defined with each passing second. It was a woman, her face obscured by shadows, her eyes burning with a cold, ethereal fire. Her presence was both mesmerizing and terrifying. A name, choked with anguish, escaped her lips, reverberating through the room like a mournful echo. "Daniel," she moaned, her voice a hollow whisper that sent shivers down their spines. The name lingered in the air, heavy with sorrow and longing, as if calling out to a lost soul. Fear threatened to overwhelm them, but Sarah, ever the voice of reason, stepped forward. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. The figure turned its sorrowful gaze upon her. "I am Eleanor," she whispered, her voice thick with sorrow and rage. "And this place took everything from me." As Eleanor spoke, fragmented images flashed through their minds. A young woman, her eyes filled with love, cradling a newborn child. A cruel doctor, his face contorted in a sneer, ripping the child from her arms. The woman's screams echoing through the asylum, her pleas for mercy ignored. "He promised me my Daniel would be safe here," Eleanor shrieked, her voice rising in a crescendo of anger and despair. "But he lied, he experimented on him, tortured him, left him to die alone." The temperature plummeted, and the shadows in the room seemed to writhe and coil like living things. The friends were trapped, imprisoned by the raw, untamed grief of a mother robbed of her child. Panic surged within them, their hearts pounding against their ribs like trapped birds. They had stumbled into something ancient and evil, something that would not rest until it had exacted its revenge. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream tore through the silence, shattering the stillness of the night. The friends froze, their hearts pounding in their chests as they tried to locate the source of the terrifying sound. The spectral form of the cruel doctor materialized before them, his eyes wide with terror as Eleanor's wrath descended upon him. His ghostly figure flickered, a look of sheer panic etched on his face as he realized the full extent of Eleanor's fury. "You promised!" she shrieked, her voice laced with fury and desperation. The air around her crackled with energy, her anger palpable and intense. "You promised me my son!" Eleanor's voice broke, a mixture of rage and sorrow. Her eyes, filled with tears, bore into the doctor, demanding the fulfillment of a promise long broken. The doctor's screams were cut short as he vanished into thin air, leaving only the echo of his terror behind. The friends stood in stunned silence, the weight of what they had witnessed pressing down on them. Eleanor turned her sorrowful gaze upon the friends, her expression softening. The anger that had consumed her moments before was replaced by a deep, aching sadness. "You have seen my pain," she whispered, her voice softer now, tinged with an eerie calm. "You understand the depths of my suffering. Now you will help me find my son," she declared, her tone resolute. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, realizing the gravity of the task that lay ahead. As the first rays of dawn pierced through the cracks in the boarded-up windows, the friends found themselves outside the asylum gates, their memories of the night shrouded in a chilling fog. The events that had transpired felt like a distant nightmare, yet the weight of Eleanor's words lingered. They had escaped with their lives, but they were forever bound to Eleanor and her tragic quest. The bond they now shared with the vengeful spirit was unbreakable, a pact sealed in the darkness of the night. The question was, had they been set free, or had they become unwitting pawns in a vengeful spirit's game? Only time would reveal the true nature of their fate, as they walked away from the haunted asylum, the dawn of a new day casting long shadows behind them.